So it is the next episode. It is May 1st, 0080. Zoe, Matherin, you are both in medical right now, so you need a checkup.
Yep.
What were you in for?
I suppose a checkup on the medicine I have to take on account of the brain.
What are the kind of symptoms you often experience?
Sometimes headaches or migraines, fuzzy memories, disassociation with reality, confusion. Uh, Sometimes she mixes up that she is Zoe and she says like call someone else her own name, and that's weird. Various strange symptoms of a confused mind. Of course, it isn't 100% like crippling bad, but there's episodes where it's like, you know, that's
Debilitating?
when kind of debilitating. Yeah, and that's when she has to take her medicine for it.
Matherin, you look up from the list of the things Swappy just said.
The big list.
These symptoms seem more at home for a patient 4 times your age, Ensign.
Zoe, it's sitting at I do we have a stool that
I
where
am.
we're sitting?
I imagine so.
Yeah, she's sitting on her stool and she's not really making eye contact with Matherin.
When I first read this, I just assumed it was some sort of series of typos.
No, sir. It's all there from my last deployments during the war. And it was also written up at Gibbero.
It's a slightly unusual detail as far as Matherin's concerned, but carries on. Normally, reliance on these sort of medications would result in you being medically released, but I see no mention of that on your file, so I presume there's some sort of dispensation, the one that I'm apparently not privy to.
She kind of looks up at him as she's just like, my circumstance for the war doesn't let me be discharged, sir.
That is deeply unusual, but nothing in war is particularly normal.
They, well, let's just say I was recruited by a certain uh powerful military man for his group, and well, they had me pilot a machine, and that machine had some side effects.
That is readily apparent and very unfortunate. Must be quite the quite the determined individual volunteer for such.
Yeah, I sure was.
I have hey, Zoe, I'd like you to roll me performance and charm or charm and deception. Your pick.
HR
Whichever's
deception.
worse, actually.
I forgot to open up my sheet.
You know, that is kind of necessary for this sort of thing.
I need to roll a 2.
Good luck.
I rolled a 3. I was close to succeeding to succeeding somehow.
Somehow.
I'm not spending a narrative point.
Yeah, no. Actually, speaking of narrative points, I'm gonna roll right now. 4. Because whole brand new episode. Matherin, you take a look at Zoe and she says, "Yeah, I sure was," and she looks depressed and demoralized.
Do you want me to check and see if I was deceived by that? Which I suspect not, considering just how flat that was.
You say it again?
I'm pretty sure
I did.
everything.
Taking a joke, but do I have any idea that this was that was just a straight up lie that when she said she volunteered, considering this, or
not exactly incorrect on her part, but it's that well, she did technically volunteer, but it was a very unusual kind of
Circumstances.
call it recruitment. Yeah.
Yeah, you could just Matherin, though. You don't know if she's lying about the volunteer thing, but you can tell Zoe is like, if she had any feelings that would make her want to volunteer, then they are long gone now.
long gone. Interesting. Does her file say how long she's supposed to be enlisted for? How long she's been in and how long she's supposed to be in?
So you notice that it says her date of enlistment was early 1 year war, which going by normal procedure, assuming she doesn't stay on to make this a full-blown career, she'd probably be out in 20 years. But assuming she doesn't want to stay in, probably by 84, 85 at the latest.
Okay.
Once you make your way up to a full lieutenant, you're allowed to stop if you want to.
Makes sense. And yeah, her enlistment date makes it because it wasn't unusual for there to be underage soldiers in the Federation by the end of
by the end of the 1 year war. But
hers is a little earlier.
Yeah,
correct?
I assume this is January or February, and sure,
Yeah.
half the population, but this is
right after the January disasters.
It's a little bit too early for child soldier maxing.
Make a note of that for Professor to look that up using his other set of credentials, I suppose.
Gonna jot that one down on the to-do list.
I mean, I don't think that's an unusual lead for him to try and track down. He is a quote unquote intelligence officer.
I mean, it isn't unusual, but
Yeah.
If this is the full file and not the medical file, I would like to say a lot of her information is blacked out.
Yeah, actually, Matherin.
Actually, I'm pretty sure even some of her medical information is kind of blacked
really, really important. Actually, Matherin, I'd like you to roll me tact investigate or keen, whichever's better.
So investigate, or what was the other thing you said?
Keen or tact, your choice.
I'm slightly keener, so I will do that. What are we sitting at for plot points at the moment?
Yep. What's your investigate at?
He's got a 4 in investigate.
What's your medicine?
5.
Give yourself a +2.
Okay. So that is 8. That is 3 success.
3 success? Her file makes no sense. Like, it lists on here that she's suddenly got symptoms, like, just like, basically out of the ether. And, like, developed, as you stated earlier, conditions you only see in patients twice her age, just, like, with no explanation of why. Like, the file in your hand is currently completely nonsense. The things in front of you line up with it, but, like, the from point A to point B timeline makes no sense.
Nudge, nudge. You could talk to her previous CO, who is on the ship.
Yeah, another line for you to investigate, Mathran.
Yeah. Well, this is like certainly weird enough that he will try and run this one down
Yep.
without without seeming to pry too deeply. Because, like, paranoia levels are high. He's already doing a spy hunt involving the other ship, and now we have people with weird and mysterious backgrounds on our ship too. So,
Zoe's gonna see the expression on Mathrin's face that I presume is basically, what the fuck am I looking at?
Actually, no, Zoe. Mathrin, despite his incompetence when it comes to straight up fighting, is actually a trained spy. You can keep his school.
That is true. Sorry.
if you want me to roll for like how well he hides his surprise at this, I could roll it.
Nah. That won't be necessary. Hey, Losey. Saul.
Yes.
You two currently walk on to the spaceport of the asteroid colony you're currently staying at.
Oh boy.
Yeah, welcome to New Vilgin. You're currently in the Far Belt right now.
Okay.
This was the closest colony you could find with a spaceport big enough for both you and the Gratitude. You know, the Dalian isn't doing too bad, but the Gratitude is. If there's... Oh, yes, Losi?
Oh, I was just going to ask how out in the boonies are we right now?
Quite. Just like home, Losi.
Just like home.
You all have shore leave, because Captain Albrecht needs everyone to retain their spirits.
Retain spirits how? Like...
Go get drunk, presumably. Do as sailors do on shore leave.
Let's go gambling.
Whatever floats your boat,
dang it.
ironically enough.
Is there a park on this colony?
Technically, yes.
Well, technically, yes.
So, you know what a colony looks like, right? Describe it to me.
It's a big cylinder, sir.
This is not that. Not at all.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's
shittier.
It's basically a cave inside a space rock. That is what you're in right now.
Oh, great. It's
No artificial gravity, none of that fancy schmancy beeswax, just pure space out in the open.
Saul, you look to your
I'm
right,
assuming
and
it's not
Losi looks pleased. in her natural environment.
The same cannot exactly be said about Saul. He's not like completely like trying to think of the like right wording here.
Disgruntled.
He's not disgruntled, and he's not like visible like disgusted by it or anything like that. It's more of like he's like, damn it, because Saul's way of de-stressing is, well, he used to drink, and we're not doing that no more.
What? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Yeah, it's not like I've denied pretty much every drink thus far in this game.
You literally have a shore leave pass.
He does, but also.
What's your mind health at again?
Oh boy, let me double check if I have my sheet open. I was thinking without free combat. Oops, doodles. I actually recovered some last time, so I'm at 5 out of 7. It could be worse. It also could be better.
It could be a lot better. You know, last session for you was a close run thing, if I remember correctly.
It was. It's no park. Fuck.
Lozy, you and Saul go to a park, which, to your estimation, Saul, looks like basically a like suburban house-sized greenhouse.
There's not disappointment on his face. Not what I had in mind, but hopefully it's not super crowded.
I probably shouldn't be. I mean, all the adults are out at work. All the kids should be in school. Unless I got my clocks mixed up.
Have you ever gone hiking?
I don't think I can say I ever got the chance.
Well, if you ever get back to Earth and go to a colony or a lunar city with an actual park, or wild area, highly recommend it.
Back to? Junior Lieutenant, I apologize. I've lived in places like this all my life. This is normal.
I apologize. I'm getting this whole experience has been bad on the mind.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing. Sorry.
You two awkwardly stare at one another.
We haven't talked much, but I've told Connie, but I haven't really told anyone else. I had someone waiting for me on the moon. I only met her during the summer before getting back to the military. And it was during a visit to Yellowstone. And I didn't get to see her after the 1-year war. That's why I quit drinking. Kind of why I want to go, I guess, to a park. It just looks at the greenhouse kind of slightly defeated.
I see. It's probably not what you used to. It's a bit cramped. You know, I guess I wasn't off with the whole Prince Charming thing then, huh?
Not terribly, no. It was a whole thing. It was her first time to Earth, and I had never been to space. Spent 2 weeks together. Both said we would spend a lot more time, keep in touch. Then the 1-year war happened. And she was from Granada. And that was the first place he occupied.
Listen, I'm sure someone as stubborn as you who can keep your promises. I'm sure she's just the same.
I hope. He looks back at Lizzie, and he looks conflicted, but he looks like he should say something. I haven't told the captain, but you've almost died once. I feel like I owe you and Connie at least, as it's part of my squad, some truth. She was conscripted, like a lot of people were.
You're afraid,
Yeah, I am afraid.
You okay there, Frep?
Yeah, I think he's dying.
I'm assuming it's the cats.
What? Is my mic picking up something strange?
Yeah, it's just picking up like tapping, like you're moving around the mic a lot.
Yeah.
My apologies.
now, here's the thing. I
Lo-
don't believe
Lozi.
in... Yeah?
You're about to say something when you and Saul both hear a commotion on the outside, people yelling.
Shit. It could be happening.
I don't know. Let's go check it out.
She kicks off the greenery, sort of to the outside gates of the park, quote unquote.
Across from the street, you notice a bunch of people surrounding a TV store.
Oh, Mr. Lieutenant, looks like something's hit the news.
We will walk over to see what it is.
You see a broadcast of a man in a suit. You can't hear the audio, but you can see as a transcript, basically subtitles of what's being said, along with the news broadcast overlay. The subtitles are talking about the Declaration of Independence of Side 2, and the broadcast overlay says Revolt in New Delhi. Joe,
Yes.
in front of you, you have a newspaper. It's discussing recent actions in the Shoal Zone against remnants. Considering the fact that you are bored out of your gourd, this newspaper is not exactly very mentally stimulating. The strangest thing you find on it is like a story on like page 16 about an officer getting shot by smugglers of all things.
I wonder who that poor bastard is. What a loser.
I bet he's carrying a gun with him at all times now.
Is this like relatively up to date, or is this like just like everything we've had shipboard where like it's at least 2 weeks old at the best?
Actually, this one is 5 days old.
Oh, that's practically fresh at this point.
Considering how far away you are from the Earth sphere, yeah, this is about as fast as it could get to you. You're inside the hangar. The mobile suits look like dog shit. It's been about 4 days. And a lot of them are wrecked, and you're all starting to run out of supplies for the mobile suits.
Feeling rather smug about the relatively pristine condition of the public at this point.
Sound like my foreman. I'm so clean. Look at me. I don't do any work. I'm so clean.
Joe would argue vociferously, but that's not an unfair assessment. He would just suggest don't get shot next time.
Genius advice. Granted, Joe, if you got hit at all, you'd be spaced off basically instantly.
Exactly. That's why his advice is don't get shot. I don't know why these people try and tank shots. It's a terrible idea. Mobile suit pilots are clearly just another variety of crazy person.
Joe, from across the hangar, you see Mathrin enter the room, and he walks up to Connie and basically whispers in his ear about something. Connie, you've been asked to go talk to Zoe regarding, let's just put it, discrepancies in her medical file. And how, as a very educated man, Mathrin could perhaps help her. Very, very educated man.
Connie sighs. He has a clipboard. He's floating a bit off the deck in front of his ground crew and in front of his trashed Dauntless, basically conversing with his head, his chief mechanic. I don't care what's left in it. I don't care if it needs to be there. Rip out every single limiter you can. Our next encounter with the Rethe needs to be the last. And I don't care if this thing shakes itself apart or turns me into mulch. I need every single advantage. And Mathrin can see that on the clipboard isn't design specs, it's a letter. Several letters, one mostly complete and another one scribbled out in frustration. I assume, and he looks over to Mathrin, I assume we need utmost confidence in this matter, Warrant Officer.
You can always trust my discretion.
Connie, your mechanic tasked you on this. Sir, modifications of this extent have to be approved by the carrier CAG. I can't do any of these modifications unless you get it greenlit and with written approval from Junior Lieutenant Saul.
God damn it. You already know, we both know what he's already going to say. He's going to let his sentimentality about the new type kid from Side 2 get in the way of completing the mission.
Well, Mr. Arakos, you can't always talk to Captain Albrecht, but...
That's true, but it would be disrespectful to go over his head, but god damn it.
Albrecht also probably wouldn't want to lose you, Mr. Akos.
That's true, but you're not going to lose me.
I'm not sure Albert Eck has the same level of confidence in egotistical fighter jockeys. He gives you a little, like playful wink.
Oh, I've lasted this long. Something must be smiling upon me. If it ain't God or Lady Luck, I don't know what is. Anyway, Mathrin, let's go. Will Zoe be in attendance, or is this purely just an account of my experiences with the ensign?
Perhaps it'd be better to get your testimony alone first.
All right.
I just don't know what I'm dealing with. And it's extremely unusual.
Indeed.
Mathern, especially with, all the fuckery that happened on the Gratitude.
That too, but again, might not admit that part. Listen, he'll keep other people's secrets, but he's also not open with his own.
He sort of moves his arms down to bring him down to the. Oh wait, no, we're in gravity, right?
No, you're in an asteroid colony.
Oh yeah, no gravity.
Yeah, but this is also Gundam, so you can walk.
Yeah. Connie's going to sort of move, essentially flap his arms to get his momentum, so he touches the deck of the flight deck and walks off with Mathrin. So, what do you need to know? Mathrin?
Like to know. Like to know a little bit more about the ensign's service history. These symptoms don't make any sense with her medical record. She suggested you would be able to fill me in more than she herself, which is unusual unusual itself.
He looks around. He looks a bit more wary and suspicious than he usually does. We need someplace private. Extremely private.
Are you prepositioning me?
I'm certain there's, man. I say I don't know how many fully private places there would be actually on.
Doesn't Mathrin have an
On ship
office?
this side.
Like as chief medic, doesn't he have his own little office?
That's just in medical, though. You probably could go to the ready room.
That's not.
Yeah.
It needs to be purely these two. So I think going down to the medical room is the.
Well, the thing is, medical's probably still full of casualties from the Republic ship. Oh, well, I guess maybe we probably would have transferred them off at this point.
Their groans of pain will mask the conversation.
You've actually transferred them off both ships.
Oh, well then medical should be quiet enough, hopefully.
All right. Flash cut. We're all there. So Connie is sort of just half pacing, half floating. Now, Zoe and I first encountered each other shortly after the events of Jaburo. I was there testing out, essentially being Op 4 for Federation's mobile suit program, as I'm familiar with the Zaku 2. I've flown everything from, or piloted everything from a Zaku 1 to a Dom so far. But that's neither here nor there. What she came with was the most interesting first impression. A heavily modified Gundam ground type with some sort of system. Heard a couple rumors heard a couple names and acronyms that I don't understand. Hades, Wotan, Ares, something of the sort of that. I don't really know. But it was an experimental program run by a subfaction of the Federation known as Graves. I believe the cause of her issues is this pilot enhanced program. When she used it, she changed. Unstable, aggressive. He kind of trails off as he's remembering something. He's touching a scar on his face. During the Battle of Solomon, she activated it. Went berserk. Her heart stopped. I went to assist and snapped back and struck out at the first thing she could see, which was me. She damn near punched a hole straight through my cockpit. I believe that is the result of these issues and the very fact that Graves is some of the deepest and blackest you can go in the Federation. That would explain why her service record doesn't match up with what you're looking for.
Matherin,
Yes.
I'd like you to roll me a politics and keen.
That is 5 degrees of success.
You actually do know who these guys are. And just in case, perhaps you don't understand, Zoe's in some real deep shit. Like MK Ultra tier stuff.
Gotcha. This is some like super off the books black bag type shit.
Yeah, like these guys run in the same kind of circles of the same people who like disappeared people back in like the 50s inside 3.
Oh, so yeah, the people that I definitely don't
And,
like particularly much.
So yeah, as Connie and Matherin are kind of talking a bit more about Graves, Connie is going to mention they've tried to kill me on 2 separate occasions. I think I was prying too deep, trying to figure out what was going on with one of my pilots. The first occasion was having another one of Zoe's previous squad shoot me in the back when we were under attack, which led to me getting captured by Xeon briefly. And when they realized subtlety and potentially fragging a superior officer wasn't going to work, they decided to be more direct. 4 black GMs ambushed me on a mission. They didn't last very long, to say the least. That's all I can
This
tell you
seems
about.
so why have they my phrase is like if people this powerful want you dead, why are you still alive? Is basically the question. Trying to figure out how to ask that without asking that straight up.
Connie can interpret what Matherin means by that, right? Like, even
Just a little bit of double speak going on right now because it's like that's
if they want to get rid of you that bad, why are you still here? And Connie's just kind of shrugged. This is deep within the bowels of the Federation, and I'm just a simple space noid. I don't even get the right to vote. And besides, maybe they figured once the war's over, would any he brings up his hands and does air quotes, war hero, disappearing after the war really do anything? Would it accomplish anything productive? I don't know.
Considering we're on the back end of nowhere on a mission with very little support, I'm not certain this isn't a perfect opportunity for you to disappear, warrant officer. You'll notice that Matherin winces when you mention the whole space noise not being able to vote thing in sympathy.
But
That's
whatever with Ensign Zoe is the cause of that godforsaken devil machine that they strapped her with.
sorry about that. I appreciate your candor. It helps put some things into perspective.
By the way, do you know what that? This is purely out of concern from a friend. Do you know what she's taking? She's been taking those pills ever since I met her, and takes them before she flies, at least the rider.
Right. Thank you. I feel we've moved past the normal limits on, doctor-patient confidentiality here, since we're talking about, black bag government shit. But it is Matherin who takes this stuff rather seriously.
You have a code of ethics to uphold.
Yeah.
I'm not asking to pry, I'm just mostly curious. I was thinking maybe I can use my connections with a certain two-time hero of the Federation to get her a medical discharge with full honor. Try to get her out of this mess.
Matherin, just as you're about to say something, you hear a commotion outside. You hear someone banging on the door.
Connie instinctively goes for his gun after this very off the books talk.
I'd rather keep that out of my medical bay if I can help it.
Sorry, it's
He'll
instinct. And he slowly lowers his hand.
Matherin will rise to go answer the door. Say, unfortunately, I don't think with the people we're dealing with, a medical discharge is on the cards. I think that would be blocked. There's always hope.
Hope is the only thing we have.
Matherin, when you go to walk over to the door and you open it, it's one of your orderlies.
What's going on?
Doctor, you're probably going to want to see this. It's easier if I show you rather than explain. You notice that the entire medical bay has been emptied of people. It wasn't exactly busy, but there was at least 10 people in this room when you walked into your office.
Yeah, that is very. Go ahead.
The two of you are brought over to a TV screen, and you see the same announcement Saul and Losey saw.
Oh shit.
Connie is absolutely dumbstruck by yet another revolt against the Federation, this time from his own backyard.
This will complicate matters.
Then you see a one of your mechanics, Connie, look to you over to you, say, "Will this complicate supply issues at all? We're still going to get food, right?"
I think supply issues are the least of our worries. We might have another goddamn 1-year war brewing.
Well, it wouldn't matter. It won't matter if we all starve to death out here.
I think if this escalates any further, a simple Gilgoog factory and a couple of rogue terrorists are going to be the least of the Federation's worries.
There's a palpable anxiety in the room. Zoe, you've just gotten the news. As you know, the people around you are huddled around this radio in the hangar.
Zoe just kind of looks at the radio as the radio man is going, "Holy fuck! A second side revolt has hit the Federation. Turn on the channel, any channel." And she's just
matter what channel.
but yeah, she's looking at the radio as she kind of guess lets gravity take her, or well, the lack of gravity take her. She's just floating in the hangar, as she's just like, "Is this war never really going to end? Was I right?"
Then we
How
come.
close are we to side 6?
Side 6? Oh,
Yeah.
weeks. It would be weeks to get there.
God, she wishes
You're
go to
almost
side
in the Hildas, actually.
God, she wishes they were near side 6. That's all.
The scene cuts back to Matherin and Connie. Matherin, I believe, has something to say.
I actually don't know if I had anything brewed up. 1 second, sorry. I think this is going to, further complicate relations between the federations and the other sides. This is opportunity for hardliners that crack down. This is their timing couldn't have been worse.
Yeah, well, it looks like we just set back Space Noid rights yet another 30 goddamn years. But he shrugs. It is the Federation's fault when you treat a group of people like second-class citizens for what, 80 years? And he's fiddling with a pen that he has in his mouth ever since he stopped.
Is there anyone
smoking.
else still around at this point?
Oh, Kami doesn't care who hears him at this point.
Oh, everyone can hear.
Connie does not care who hears him. This was bound to happen. If it wasn't, well, to be fair, and he sighs.
Matherin, you hear Connie keep going on and on and on about this, and you need to get him to stop somehow.
Yeah. Warrant officer, I might remind you that we are on a Federation ship, even if I do sympathize with your views as a fellow spaceoid. Such comments are best not aired in this location or at this time.
Connie, you see Matherin look around to the big crowd.
He shrugs and takes the pen out of his mouth. and continues trying to write a letter, writing out a sentence and then scribbling it out, taking the piece of paper and throwing it away. I suppose you're right, Mathrin, but it's frustrating. Incredibly frustrating, to say the least.
Yes, frustration is certainly the emotion. I have some more digging to do. Thank you for your candor.
And I have a very difficult letter that I am failing to write without making it sound like a last will and testament. Now, if you'll excuse me, I do believe I need to find our previously discussed ensign because there was a conversation that I had to cut short because of the captain's attention.
Very well. Perhaps we'll start away from Trani and like take off to go and do some more of his digging.
The scene in cuts. Saul, Lozy, you're in a restaurant eating lunch. The mood in the restaurant is somber. How have you both taken it?
He doesn't know what to think. He's like, God fucking damn it.
Lozy?
She's not sure how to take it herself. She's thinking she's been so caught up in bringing the war to her home that she forgot that another war could start at all. Which might sound contradictory, but lots of complicated emotions. She's just sort of like poking at her food.
Saul, what do you think about these rebels?
He's after it was just protesting, correct?
No, they control a colony currently.
Okay, they control the entire. They've like completely usurped the colony.
Yep.
Oh, see, there's out of character me knowing how bad this ends, and then there's in character me going, oh. He understands where they are coming from to a degree, but also he's like, you're going to make things worse. This soon is not the time for this. And internally, he's just like horrifically conflicted because, yes, he understands that after the fucking announcement that, hey guys, I know we just had a whole 1-year war about this whole thing, and over half our armed forces are in fact space droids. But also, what if we just didn't allow you to vote? Like, for him, it's like, this all sucks. He's sitting here going, damn, I wish everything went right and I would be on side 6 or at Luna right now. And I would just give up. I would give up on military, but unfortunately, that's not where he is, and unfortunately he cares too much to continue trying. He's just fucking horribly conflicted, sitting there, and he can't eat. He's not even eating his food. He's staring at it, hoping to God someone either shoots him or something else happens. Take his mind off of it.
The news always extrapolates things, makes them seem worse than it actually is.
Lozy,
Maybe.
Saul, the pair next to you, an older woman and a man, say it could be worse.
How so?
Well, they could space the colony, and that hasn't happened yet.
Give it 6 years.
He tenses up so horribly when they say that.
That's an awful thing to say right here.
Well, Federation's not exactly known for caring about the little guy. Says the man. I'd like you both to roll me keen awareness at a -3. I'm gonna spend a narrative point, 2 narrative points to make this a -4.
Question.
Yes?
Can I use a narrative point, if it's okay with the cast, to gain a +1 on my roll?
Sure.
Sure.
Go for it.
That is 1 success.
Yeah, I hear you.
Saul?
No, it's one of my best skills, but that -4 is crippling. I fail by 4 degrees.
Lozy, there's something about these voices that feel familiar for just a second, but you don't think about it. Then the man says, "Oh, it could always be worse. Oh, if it gets really bad, it just end up like another side 3."
Well, look how that worked out. Like, listen, I lived here all my life. I know that nothing happens out in the belt, but I've been seeing what's going out there. Just because you don't think it can happen here doesn't mean it can't.
And then the woman says, "Actually, this is our first time out in the belt."
Really? Where from?
"Oh, Earth." Then she looks over. "This is our first one with a new merchant crew."
You know, you seem familiar, but I couldn't quite tell. That's why I assumed you were locals.
"Oh, no, 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 no. The older woman says, last time I was out in the belt 10 years ago? It's been forever, really."
Listen, I don't mean to be hostile. Lozy puts her shoulder up, so like her insignia is visible. But we have opinions about the Federation ourselves.
Man says, "Don't we all?" and smiles wearily.
Sorry, that wasn't meant to be. It's been a long year for everyone.
You can say that again.
You planning on staying in the belt, making your way back to Earth?
We have to get this shipment done.
I suppose life moves on for everyone, huh?
It's the one certainty in life.
Maybe stay here for a few months, a few weeks, I should say. Wait wait for things to blow over. The belt's safer than probably going in transit right now, especially to the sides.
We're actually going deeper into the belt. Hildas.
Hildas. Would that be familiar?
Oh, yeah, so just in case everyone here isn't aware what the Hildas are, the way Lagrange points work is, two gravities of body trap objects in certain points relative to each other. Like, just how, like, the Earth and Moon have Lagrange points. So, O2 does Jupiter and the Sun. And the areas where the basically the Trojan and asteroids of Jupiter transition into the belt. And, it's basically a triangle relative to Jupiter and the belt, and those are called the Hildas.
Would there be any cultural significance to them?
Um, The Hildas they're talking about is basically as far away you can get from Earth without going to Jupiter. Basically, you're on the opposite end of where Jupiter would be. Middle of nowhere, really.
What business do you have all the way out there? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, shipment and for the energy fleet. And then the guy like does like a motion with his arms like in like a circle. Something about new mining equipment out here. Apparently, the
Mining.
way it's been explained to me is that when Belters usually want to get helium-3, they trade in kind for goods, usually minerals, with the Jovians. You probably know more than me, though.
Don't the workers lack a company town sometimes, I swear. Equipment. Can Losey roll something here?
What specifically?
She has a suspicion about them moving equipment that far out, but it's something on the tip of her mind. Not tip of her tongue, like something like she can't quite pin right now. Can she roll a sort of keen investigate to see if there's any suspicion to where they're going?
Yes, Sarah, -3.
-3?
Actually, I want to spend another narrative point to make this a -4.
It doesn't matter. You rolled a 10.
Well, I said I was
Listen.
going to do it, so I gave you back the narrative point.
So, she's like, well, you have safe travels. I was actually gonna recommend it to my friend here. It's no Yellowstone, but a lot of us belters, we like to go on spacewalks, especially around the smaller asteroids. It's a great way to see the openness of it all. Puts things into perspective. Might be a nice hack for the two of you, before you leave, of course.
Yeah, sure thing. The two of them get up. All safe travels to you too.
She offers her hand to shake. Leslie Bolt. If you ever see another Bolt, you might. There's a lot of us. Tell him I said hi.
The man offers his hands. Brady Howard's. And then the woman offers her hand. Catherine Calvin's. And the two of them start to leave. Well, so long.
Take care.
Saul,
Yes.
I'd like you to roll me keen awareness
Okay.
at no modifier.
No modifier. Okay. That is.
Lozy, you look over to Saul, and he looks like he's in thought for a second.
There's 4 degrees of success.
I'm just going to type it so you can act this out.
Okay. That's a bit different. Oh.
So,
Oh.
Lozy, you see him looking very deep in thought, and then it looks like he's realized something.
He gets up, stands up. Are they like walking out the door, and they just went out the door?
It's been about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
It could be anywhere.
Anywhere. Okay.
Leslie leaves a tenner at the table of the restaurant while runs out. Saul, you doing okay?
Yeah, he for reference, he basically got up without a word, looked at the food plate he had not even touched, walked right out, looked and is looking outside, just confounded. That was them.
That was who?
That was Badge and Catherine Cotton. That was them. That was our enemy. And they're people. And they're people just like us. And we didn't do anything. We didn't do a goddamn thing. But what are we supposed to do?
Not have a firefight in the middle of the restaurant.
And what after side? His fists are clenched as he just conflicted horrifically.
She like goes to like console him, as she typically does. Like she's always trying to at least look on the brighter side of things, but then her hand stops. We've never seen those people in our lives. How do you know them?
Did Bash talk at all when they were there, or?
Yes, I believe.
Okay.
You spoke very briefly.
I spoke very briefly with him, and I did get a contact call with him because I fucking stopped him from stabbing Connie. So that one's easy for him. As for Bash, I made contact comms with him when I stopped him from killing Connie. It was very brief, but he's the enemy. He's the enemy squad leader, and I guess to the enemy squad leader.
Listen, where?
He just shudders a bit, horribly frustrated.
Were they? You think they were bullshitting about where they were going?
I don't know what to believe, Losey. I don't know. I've not known since Dakar, since Sabawaku, since we got here. All I try to do is be good. To save lives. To make sure no one else under my command dies. Try and look for the woman I love. Because there's a fucking chance she's out here right now with those people. She wasn't on Luna when I got into space. The Foreign Legion, along with everyone with it, already left. They left fucking Granada. I don't know what happened to her. But with how the fucking Federation is, with how everyone else is, there's no winning side. There's no good or evil here. There's just... He turns to Lozzie. What is the right thing to do here? They're on shore leave probably just as much as we are. And you talked with them. Or they're people. You saw them, they're people. They can't come back to the Federation because the Federation won't let them. Losey, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
I don't know. I don't know.
When you see you don't know the second time, he just looks placid and dejected, and he reaches into the inside of his uniform. And you see him pull out this debris, kind of dust covered, slightly worn. Like it's like a sort of pocket plushie of this. It's of a bear with an astronaut helmet, and you see him just kind of looking at it.
The scene cuts. Albrecht,
Yes?
you're in your office. You're, parsing through these files that Matherin found. What do you make of them?
What's in them?
Let's see. Let me try to remember exactly what I said last session. So, looks like, as far as what Matherin could find out, that likely there was basically an entire new flight crew underneath a commander that they had just gotten transferred in, lieutenant commander, and that entire team defected, along with some suspicious transfers into the flight crew right before basically the voyage. As well, Pamra has had 2 ships already shot from beneath him with minimal survivors. Once during January and another time in December.
Huh. Interesting. Not really sure there is anything for him to make of it in this very moment. Whatever the moment is.
And what a moment it is. You hear a knock on your door, Albrecht.
Come in.
It's Commander Yalvin, and he says, "Sir, you're probably going to want to hear this."
Well, what is it?
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted to continue saying anything. Yalvin says, "Side 2 has gone into revolt, sir."
Christ on a cross. Good Lord, Yalvin. Where's Pamra?
Then he says, "The Gratitude should still be in dock, sir."
Dock of docking what?
Oh, you're currently in the asteroid colony New Vilgin.
Oh. Where is that?
In the far belt. You're actually quite close to the Hildas.
I see.
Opposite of Jupiter.
Oh.
You're quite in the boonies right now.
Mm-hmm. Below the belt, one might say.
Perhaps even the far side of the belt.
Truly. Have we received any communication from the fleet on how to proceed?
No, sir.
All right, ask them. Send them a please advise.
Right away, sir. Any other orders?
That will be all for now. but step lightly and go too far.
Understood, sir. He salutes, then walks out. Mathron, I have a question. Would you, Mathron, inform Captain Albrick of Zoe's medical situation? Yes or no? I would like to at least give you the opportunity to walk in on this moment.
He probably would want to collate some more information before he reads the captain in on it, to be honest.
Ah, okay. And since Quix wasn't here for the first half, he's gonna get the real, fresh explanation, a fresh response. Okay then. Connie, I believe you're trying to find Zoe.
Yes.
She's currently in the hangar.
Connie is or Zoe is?
Zoe is. Zoe.
Yeah, Connie's gonna float in, still holding the clipboard. I'm assuming he still sees the gathering of people around the radio.
It's quite shocking news.
Not shocking to him, he just heard it. He's still recovering from it. He's gonna float on over next to Zoe.
Do you need something, warrant officer?
You want to get it out of your system?
What do you mean by that?
Even if I wasn't a new type, I can still feel something pent up radiating off of you. After we were interrupted by the captain, I feel it's only fair that we actually talk about it.
She just sighs as she's like, when are you gonna quit with cutting deals with Xeon troops to get out of situations? You know they're just gonna come back.
He sighs and sort of nods his head over in a direction where nobody's at. Because this conversation is happening in the middle of the entire deck crew.
Granted, they're not focusing on you.
Yes, but Connie is going to float on over to a deserted corner of the deck. He's going to set down his clipboard on a crate.
Yeah, next to the public class.
Yeah, where Zoe can see the contents of the clipboard should she so be nosy.
I will be nosy.
So what she can see is a quite detailed breakdown of the Polycrest rifle, some changes, what he likes, what he dislikes about it, and it's addressed to a one Faust Galefles.
I talk to her. Oh, point at the screen.
Holy shit, is that a motherfucking Mobile Suit Gundam the Day After reference?
Oh.
We're
Anyway.
so full of references today. Gohan's gonna kill us all.
Hey, to be fair, he made the first one himself. Anyway, the second one is addressed to his wife, and it is simply just one of many. It's scribbled out completely. There's a couple more on clip to the clipboard that are the same way. A few sentences then frustratedly scribbled out. And he sort of just floats in a, I guess not really casual, because this isn't a casual conversation. His arms are crossed. He's a little bit defensive, a little bit anxious. You asked when I was going to stop cutting deals. It's not quite like that, Zoe. But I understand this time it wasn't. He grits his teeth a bit. It wasn't the best call. Not by a long shot.
She
I
just.
know. Oh, no, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I know you say I have a savior complex. I'm too soft on. And he throws his arms out. The enemy. But it's. God damn it, Zoe. They're people like you and me. They're fighting for their reasons. We're fighting for ours.
That's exactly why, Connie. Those guys are Xeon Foreign Legion. People
I'm
who.
very well aware of that.
Let me finish. Even with everything Xeon did, there's people who would run to their side because of. I know the Federation isn't good. Hell, I know firsthand the Federation isn't good. You know firsthand the Federation isn't good. You should know exactly how I should feel about the Federation. But Xeon made me think that the most important people in my life were gone for nearly a whole year. And I signed away my life in a bid for revenge, and now look at me. I'm not even fighting for anything. Fighting so I can go home. That's why I want to take care of these guys so we can go home. I know they're people. Maybe I'm some messed up, crazy kid who's been consumed by war, but I just want to go home to my friends. Those people made their choice, Connie. We need to make ours. Which is why I just can't let them go. Look, what I said was wrong. You're not a bad person or anything. And honestly, Connie, you should know that you have a bit more playing cards at your table than I do, even if you're a space noid. I mean, you know exactly what they classified me as during the war.
And said expendable.
That's
You
right.
don't know how hard I had to do to rip out those files.
I can take a guess ever since he bit it. Somehow. Anyway.
Good riddance.
Yeah. Anyway.
The both of you hear basically a knock on the public class that you're standing next to, and Joe basically pops out from the door.
You know I can hear you dipshits, right?
Yes, actually.
I know I can hear you, dipshits, right?
Shut the fuck up, bro. I'm trying to sleep. So he looks at Joe. Oh.
Sorry,
Joe.
Joe. We just needed a little private moment. You need us to scatter?
Joel turned to Connie. This is the moment you feel you need privacy for, but not spouting it's the Federation's fault in the middle of the hangar?
He
What
shrugs.
the hell's wrong with you, warrant officer?
I could get you an itemized list. Just give me 10
Shut
minutes.
the fuck up. Listen, I don't know where you come off with this self-righteous. You're the spokesperson for all the space noids in the Federation, warrant officer. But if I hear crap like that again, I'm going to knock your teeth in.
Connie clenches his fist. Is Joe a space noid?
Yes, he's from,
Yes.
I believe, the moon, if I recall correctly.
My god. So is Connie.
No, Connie's from
Lunarian.
side 2.
Oh right, yeah. I thought.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lunarians are a little bit different.
sorry, I was thinking about Hollow. Never mind.
Yeah, are Lunarians real space nodes?
You know,
I
that has
agree.
the same
This is
energy is a Russian, a European.
the ship has been through so much over the last 2 months. I think that debate would literally rip it apart by the bolts.
Yeah.
Are Lunarians real space noids? The greatest thread in the history of threads, locked after destroying 3 Federation capital ships.
Connie clenches his fists and unclenches his fists. If I didn't have a more pertinent discussion, I'd take you up on that offer, Joe.
That's interesting, warrant officer. Do you remember that we are still on a Federation warship engaged, in an active pursuit of an enemy warship? I'm pretty sure I could have you shot for that.
I'm very well aware of that, Joe. You want to know why I'm very well aware of that? I'm counting the days I missed the birth of my first goddamn child.
Tough. Do you think you're the only one who has to sacrifice for the Federation?
He looks down at his leg. I'm very fucking well aware of sacrifices.
Then why the
to
hell are you
Federation.
still here?
Why am I still here?
As you are keen to remind us all, as a hero of the Federation, why the hell you post out here in the chasing after remnants out to the belt?
That title does have some weight to it, but the problem is I don't have the rank or the clout to do anything with it.
And engaging in near constant borderline treason probably doesn't help with that, warrant
Probably
officer.
Zoe's getting a bit more agitated as this argument continues, and she's just like, you know what? Saul, thank you for. Sorry, not Saul. Oops, wrong person. Joe, thanks for getting involved, but I'm going out. I'm gonna take up the captain's shore leave. Kind of like
I'll look for
kicks
the
off
best.
his.
Maybe it's
kicks
time
off
for people to get their heads in the right place. He says that with like a pointed glare at Connie.
Without a second glance, Connie kicks off as well, following Zoe. Before we go, I do need to tell you, it wasn't some savior complex, some stupid thinking I could get everyone out of this alive, friend or foe, that spurned that talk. I had a feeling. I'd call it new type intuition. It was the same feeling that happened when we lost Stabity at Solomon.
Kind of like winces at that.
It was just the whole situation. My mobile suit was trashed. Losie's mobile suit was trashed. The Gratitude's MS team turning traitor and not knowing if the entire ship went with them. I had a feeling someone, one of us was going to die, and I took the only option that I knew would get us out of this alive.
Listen, I know. I get it. I get it. I get it. Yeah, Connie, you kind of feel that, like you can hear it in her voice, but she's got that like anger that she tended to have back during the war, like it's bubbling back up. As she's just like, I get it. And I also heard what you want to do with your Jim Dauntless. So if you really want to get out of this alive, don't do anything stupid out there. Do you understand me? This is an order from a superior. I still outrank you.
He smiles. It's not really stupid. It's something Philippe would approve of.
Connie, you did stupid shit the entire time I knew you in the 1-year war. You're gonna do something stupid again. So if you're gonna do it, make sure you have someone watching your back. And with my skills, which you know, I'll keep an eye out for you. If anything, I'll ask the MS team to do the same thing and convince good old Lieutenant, Junior Lieutenant about proving our little modification.
So
So
you want to? Oh, this is happening.
Stop. Wait, I accidentally muted myself. Joe, you have no idea what they're talking about.
stupid.
I assume this is happening while they're floating away from Joe.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is Zoe.
he
Zoe
probably would have just battered in
Zoe-
again if he was. I assume that they this is as they left because otherwise Joe would have probably had another rant at
I see.
them. So he's being a real upright bastard at the moment.
Zoe fucking told them, like, all right, you know what, this is dumb, I'm leaving. Anyway, but she's just like, anyway, go cool your head off and calm down on the Space Knight rhetoric for a bit, alright? I don't need to sign any paperwork about you getting hit by the good ensign.
He shrugs. He's just a jumped up shuttle pilot. Pay him no mind. And a Marion on top of it.
Oh man, how many plot points for him just said that just a little too loudly?
I'll spend a narrative point on it.
What the fuck was that? Zoe just fucking like just fucking like
Yes, Joe, you did in fact hear that.
Here comes Joe with the steel chair.
Talk about a steel chair.
Hold up. While Joe is doing his thing, Connie is going to. I want Joe to just molly rock him in the middle of Connie's sentence. I should probably.
Matherin, you did not Matherin. Sorry, Joe. You did say you wanted to bring him to the captain.
I was going to bring him up on something, but now I'm probably going to have to report myself. Because when Connie says that, he feels a like hand on his shoulder and then a fist in his jaw, followed very shortly thereafter.
All right, real quick, while that's happening, and feel free to interrupt me whenever you feel appropriate, Fret. But Connie is just, I suppose I should let you in on my plan. I was going to talk to the captain, of course.
Zoe's starting to see Joe coming from behind.
I was going to go to the captain about this because you know how Saul is. But I was thinking, with the limiters removed from the Dauntless, without a shield, time the Dauntless's launch to the initial barrage of the Dalian's missiles. The Dauntless and the missiles reach the Rethe at the same time. Either the point defense gunners focus on shooting down the missiles, allowing, well, I guess now us. I won't ask you to come along, but since you're ordering me, probably going to be us if Albrecht approves. We go in with ballistics, since she's got anti-beam. Rain merry hell as much as we can. Then the rest show up. The rest
Connie,
of us show up.
You feel a hand on your shoulder.
He's gonna stop and turn around.
Just a jumped up shuttle pilot.
It starts.
And he's gonna.
Yeah, from.
And at that, Joe's going to clock Connie.
Have you guys seen the meme of like someone punching somebody, but it's in slow motion, and it's the song that goes dun 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 dun?
No, I'm thinking about that meme from like 4 years ago of the Last of Us Part 2. You know the one.
Yeah, the fucking.
It's this scene. It's
hold on.
this scene.
I have it saved in my favorites. It's one of my favorite gifs of all fucking time. Where is it? Where is
It's
it?
in
There
there
you
somewhere.
that girl. Yeah!
I've only seen this in memes. Is that kid fucking dead? Because that'd be the funniest fucking thing if that
No,
was like.
but that kid is also super fucked up though, because look how he's punching them, and look that they also eat the fucking
The
Yeah,
fucking
that
Yeah,
would,
garage.
fight that
that
garage
would,
door, apparently.
Ouch.
that would
Anyway.
you'd lose all your teeth from that for sure.
Yeah, that's
also
you, Connie.
Oh, my
the mix between Dog the Bounty Hunter and Guy Fieri just bodying this fucking kid full force.
It's so
Anyways,
good.
Anyway.
Zoe,
good.
as you notice, basically a fist fight break out between the two of them. Basically a crowd forms around Ensign Joe and Connie.
Zoe looks at the crowd, and, like, while they're fighting, she yells, "Ensign! Write me a report when you're finished. Also, you should probably leave the ship for a bit before after the captain chews you out." And with that, she looks at Connie, gives him the look of, "I told you not to do stupid shit," and leaves.
The smug vindication.
But she's also gonna think on that plan. She's just gonna let them all wrestle it out. And she's gonna exit the ship and just start going.
Connie's gonna fight back. He's not gonna take this. He's not gonna take this. I guess not really laying down, but floating down.
You're currently. So basically, the way I describe this is basically Joe's straddling on top of you, Connie, and he's just like raining blows down on your guard. And then when you both suddenly hear, "Attention!" from Commander Yalvin.
All right, real quick, Fred.
And
Did Joe go for the glasses?
Oh, they're broken right now.
Oh, if the first punch broke the glasses, Connie would have fought like a fucking bastard.
Okay then, Connie, I have a question. Red or white dice?
I'm feeling red.
Congratulations, Connie. You lost this fight.
Damn.
Besides some body blows, there's nothing visibly wrong with Joe. All of you stand. The entire room stands up, and Commander Yalvin stalks over to you two. And what is this exactly?
A friendly dispute.
Yalvin looks over to you, Ensign Joe.
I regret to inform that I failed to keep in mind the captain's most recent orders regarding corrections. I forgot myself.
That was Alberic's soul leaving his body.
He's just like looking over paperwork in his office and just randomly just like get some chest pain.
He just reaches over the mailbox and not quite sure why yet.
And he looks at Yalvin, asks you, Joe, in the matter of the offense.
I'm trying to think what the actual wording was. I'd say conduct unbecoming, but he's not technically an officer.
He's not,
so I can't actually say
neither
that.
are you?
I believe Joe's a
Ensign.
ensign.
Oh, so you went. Oh, that's right.
Also,
Yeah,
you
I
understand.
keep forgetting
fine.
if you're in your. You're playing two characters right now.
I know it's
I get it.
baffling. I also don't.
Sometimes I
do
forget which is
voices.
which.
I pity our poor listeners. All possibly one of
I
them.
am the only person in the Go Mine Extended RPG cinematic universe who does voices. And
I'm
y'all
just
missed
I'm
an
too much of a coward. I admit it.
You should do more silly voices.
I do a voice.
You do voices.
One.
You
That's
do
true.
2 voices. Anyways, disorderly conduct, mutiny.
Ooh, man, is there
I
something
wouldn't.
soft to mutiny? But it is basically that, as far as Joe's concerned. But accusing Connie of mutiny right in the middle of the hangar is probably a pretty
Disrespecting a
massive
superior
charge.
officer. Which is
conduct,
true.
I mean, that is true. There's that. There's conduct, like basically against good order and discipline. It was a real angry son of a bitch, though. So, is his reactions fair? No, but he doesn't care.
Yalvin looks at the 2 of you. Fall in line. And he starts walking away, then stops, and he turns around. And the rest of you, I believe we all have work to do getting these mobile suits back in working order. Yalvin leads the 2 of you to the captain's office. Captain Albrecht, you hear from the door. Captain Albrecht, there's a matter requiring your attention.
Come in.
Albrecht, you see Yalvin, Connie, who has a massive black eye, and Ensign Joe, who does look ruffled up.
Good lord. What happened? Was there an accident?
Then Yalvin clears his throat. Sir, I found the 2 of them and engaged in a fist fight in the hangar.
He barely fails to conceal his just utter disdain for this incident that's happening during the time in which they're supposed to be not doing this. In fact, doing the opposite of fighting each other. Either who is only Connie is like visibly physically injured.
Correct.
Constantine, report to the surgeon and have him take a testimony of the extent of your injuries. Yalvin, what happened?
While
Connie
making
is still there.
Yalvin explains. So, sir, while making the rounds, I was I was moving over to engineering, and while I was passing by the hangar, I heard a commotion. I found a group huddled around on the 2 of them as Ensign Joe was landing blows on the warrant officer. I subsequently broke up the fight and asked what they were doing, to which Ensign Joe said that he forgot your order regarding physical corrections. When asked,
Ensign, continue. Sorry, Yalvin. Sorry.
when I questioned what the offense was, he said disorderly conduct, against good order and discipline.
Joe, do you have anything to say about this?
My I didn't sorry, I should be clear on the wording. He forgot himself in that he knows that he disobeyed the captain's order and was trying to basically say, I fucked up by ignoring that, not trying to claim he forgot about it, but I was
He can
admonishing
say something to that effect. Yeah.
Yeah. I regret breaking your standing order to minimize the use of physical corrections on the crew. I felt it appropriate given the circumstances.
And from your perspective, what were those circumstances?
Disparaging the Federation in full sight of the crew blaming it for the New Dairy uprising.
So there were multiple witnesses to this event, he says, grabbing the bridge of his nose with his like thumb and forefinger.
Regretfully so.
All right. Joe, you're going to have to be confined to quarters until we can take testimony from every relevant person. And the same does go for Constantine. However, hopefully we can just keep him in the hospital until I can find out what happened. I would not expect to be released from quarters until the termination of the cruise. Is that clear, Ensign?
Connie's still there. He's going to speak up. I don't believe that will be necessary, sir. Our grievances were, though in violation of standing orders, resolved.
Constantine, I appreciate the gesture. However, regardless of the circumstances in which they occurred, I can and will, if you so wish it, decide not to file an abuse of juniors charge to Ensign Joe. Under no circumstances can I refrain from filing a conduct unbecoming charge for Ensign Joe.
Very well. What was it? Abuse of underlings or
Abuse of
Juniors.
underlings, yeah. Of juniors, yeah.
I believe Ensign Joe is undeserving of that charge. It was a simple disagreement that, under regular circumstances, would have just been a stern talking to.
Constantine,
So,
because you're a pilot, I think this may be a nicety that you may be somewhat overlooking. Conduct unbecoming isn't something you do to a subordinate, it's something you do to the service. And as the chief representative of the service on board, the charge must be filed. It will not be resolved on this cruise. We do not have the faculties to conduct a full court martial. But at your request, and specifically because of your request, I will be declining to file an abuse of a junior charge. And go see a doctor, for Christ's sake.
this is nothing. Zeke's did worse to me.
We need to have it documented for the court martial.
Does it need to be effective immediately, or would you like
By-
to take my statement first?
He just sort of waves his hand. Let's take the statement first, from Constantine first, then from Joe, separately, please.
And he
Yelvin, if you would take
Constantine
Ensign Joe to his
nods and
quarters.
steps out.
Understood,
Oh,
sir.
never mind.
I'm gonna need Maturin though, so don't go nowhere, Frep.
Man, it's so convenient we've never seen these two people in the same room at the
I
same
have,
time.
I have. That's been very by design.
Actually, you're wrong, Frep. You were in the same room. Joe saw Mathering talk to Connie in the hangar.
They didn't get dialogue.
It's all falling
Like,
apart now.
I at least have been very particular to make sure I'm never trying to have Joe and Mathern in the same room, because RPing off of yourself fucking sucks.
Oh my god,
It's the worst.
Agonizing.
I salute you. I've once played 5 characters on screen at once.
That sounds
Oh.
awful. Why would you do that to yourself?
Anthony,
Anyways,
I want you to know
Very
I respect the hell out of you as a role player, but you're also the most insane person I've ever heard of when it comes to games. The pain you
That's
put yourself through
I think the
is
first time
is staggering, and I respect the hell out of it.
anyways, to get back
Testimony.
ourselves back on
Testimony.
track.
Warrant Officer Constantine, go.
Yes.
To be fair, Captain, Ensign Joe's response was a bit meat-headed, but fair given the situation. Not only, I will be frank and say, yes, I did disparage the Federation. Of course, as you have learned, the New Dairy Revolt, I let some of my opinions out that I shouldn't have. Nothing too surprising, knowing me, but still, some hardline Federation loyalists may, especially those of the Space Noid variety, wouldn't take too kindly to. But this was after a rather heated exchange I was having with Ensign Zoe Aberary. Not heated, but uh, personal and very abrasive. Nothing relating to
Physical,
the service. No. Nothing relating to the service. Just a matter, a personal matter between the two of us
a physical
about events. Yeah,
altercation occurred after an intense political discussion, you might say.
which was preceded by an intense personal discussion with Ensign Zoe. But I digress.
Ensign Zoe? How's she involved?
It was a discussion about, let's just say, my behavior in talking to enemy combatants on the field. She isn't quite relevant beyond that of a witness to the physical altercation.
Alberic visibly sighs in relief. He assumed, deprived of all context, that you and Ensign Joe got in a fight over Ensign Zoe.
That'd be wild.
And it would be
Look,
fucking
junior officer's gonna junior officer, you know?
Yeah.
I think
But
that would be classified under.
It's
But-
worse because Connie's a married man now.
yes.
He's a
But-
dad.
Yeah, a dad. Oh my god, his kid, it's May now. His kid's definitely been born already.
Yeah, bring that up.
Oh, isn't it May 1st or something?
Yep.
And due late or late March. Anyway, what resulted in the physical altercation was, and I quote myself, calling Ensign Joe a Lunarian and a jumped up shuttle pilot. I believe, in retrospect, only one of those charges is fair. You can guess which one.
Yeah, he takes a deep breath and just internally thinks, Lord, save me from the audacity of warrant officers.
But that's the gist of it.
All right. Physical altercation occurred after intense political conversation, anteceding a personal conversation about ethics. You insulted the ensign. He struck you. Do I have this correct?
Yes.
All right.
As with any charges, I will take them on the chin, just like I did the blows that Ensign Joe dealt to me.
I can't disclose what, since we're early in the captain's mast process. I can't disclose what actually might be done since I haven't gathered full testimony yet. But speaking personally as Patrick Alberic and not as your captain, I can't imagine that you will receive much of the fallout for this.
I just hope I don't accidentally tank his career. It was simply just an argument that, under any other circumstance, would have just been an argument.
That may be somewhat out of my hands.
Fair enough. While you have me here, Captain, there's something I would like to discuss as a matter of a tactical engagement with our next encounter with the Rethe.
His brow furrows and he looks up at you with his head cocked. Go on.
I do not know how knowledgeable you are about mobile suits, Captain.
Not much. I'd been in the service for 15 years before someone had thought of them.
Fair enough. But even with a passing knowledge of mobile suits, one would realize that the RGMD Dauntless is a unique machine. Wouldn't you agree?
Its supply train, and receipts certainly attest to that.
That is true. But that is mostly because it was a one-off unit designed for my personal use by both myself and one Faust Gallephiles, a Operation V pilot and designer,
Huh.
combining essentially the remnants of the GM Spartan production line and the nascent GM Spartan 2 or GM Sniper 2 production lines.
This
along with the
conversation,
redesign.
this conversation is getting increasingly Greek to me, Constantine. I suggest getting to your point.
Very well. My point is the GM Dauntless is a vanguard machine. It was initially designed for a shoot and scoot, first in, last out sort of machine. The Zeeks have a similar machine, the Gelgug Marine. It's designed for long distance, independent operation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I come to you because I would like your approval on certain modifications. And he takes his clipboard and removes a sheet and passes it over to the captain. For mine and Ensign Zoe's machines, we plan to rip out any remaining limiters that were already removed, but besides the ones that were already removed in the retooling process.
I see.
In order to facilitate, and this is why I come to you, I wouldn't call myself an expert in mobile suits, but your knowledge on ships greatly outclasses mine. Let's say, as a ballpark, the speed of ship-to-ship missiles is 550 miles per hour, give or take, right?
He like wobbles his hand roughly.
My plan is, after the limiters are stripped out of both of the Dauntless units, to time the launch of a vanguard force consisting of myself and Ensign Zoe to hit the Rethe next time we encounter it, at the same time as a barrage of missiles from the Dalian. Given two high-performance machines chasing it and a barrage of missiles, the point defense gunners of the Rethe are given a difficult choice. Attempt to intercept the mobile suits or the missiles. At whichever choice they take, they get the brunt end of the other option.
I see. Well, that ought to work to me in conjunction with that tactic. I think as long as Lieutenant Saul clears it, I can make it work.
That's the thing. Saul is a very sentimental person, and I worry that his sentimentality over the new type kid from Side 2 that he knew in Dakar might get in the way of this operation. Now, I don't mean to disparage Saul or Losey, or Ensign Joe for that matter, but they don't have the skills or the machines required to be the vanguard force of this operation.
I see.
I do understand that I am going over Saul's head, and a matter of disrespect is, while not intended, it is, how to say, part and parcel with this sort of request.
Well, I could say that this was my idea and order him to do it, but I think we both know he wouldn't believe that.
he would.
It's not exactly a secret that Saul doesn't think very highly of me. But
He does. He seems to not think very highly of, let's just say, men who appreciate unusual action. It was the same thing with our previous, or not necessarily previous CO, but our CO during the Dakar campaign.
I won't. I'll have to take this into consideration, Connie. I can't. I have to get this whole NJP process wrapped up before we can think about this.
Of course, that it wasn't my intention to delay your decision with this little incident.
However, I do think it would be worth bringing up with the MS team chief maintenance officer. Bringing
Already-
up as a hypothetical.
Chief maintenance officer. I
No.
already talked with the head of my ground crew, and they're just awaiting on your approval.
I'll have it by the end of the day.
Thank you, Captain Alberic. I'll be seeing Matherin if that's all you have for me now.
You're dismissed.
Thank you. Hopefully, with this little unorthodox, let's just call it as it is, suicide mission, we can make the next encounter with the Rethe our last, for all of our sakes.
I'm still haven't quite given up hope for a diplomatic solution, but it seems less likely every passing hour.
You and I both know that I would much prefer the diplomatic solution.
The scene changes. Zoe, you're walking around New Vilgin.
Tra la la.
I'd like you to make me a 2d6 roll.
Of just the 2d6?
Yep, just 2d6. Just see how good your luck is.
Oh, crud.
Whenever
a-
Gomine tells you to flip a coin, never good. Nothing good
Yeah.
ever happens. The sides are bad and worse.
You know, I got a 1 and a 2.
Oh, so a 3. That's very good. You know, the wheel of misfortune returns.
No, oh no, bro. Spin the wheel!
Anyways, Zoe,
Yeah,
you spot something. You're walking next to a junkyard.
my sinister junkyard. What is it?
You swear it's a mobile suit.
Zoe kind of cocks an eyebrow at this, and she's like, "What would a mobile suit be doing all the way out here?" And she's gonna fucking is the junkyard out to the open, or is she gonna have to climb a fence, or like what's up?
You can climb a fence.
She's climbing the fence.
You do. You look. You
Fence in
walk over.
space? Where are you?
You're in an asteroid colony.
We're in an asteroid
Oh.
colony.
They have fences?
Let's just say
Actually, yeah.
they do. This is Gundam.
They have
sort of
fences-
imagine-
They have fences there, so people know they shouldn't be in there. But since there's no gravity, you can just fucking hop over the fence. I'm not even climbing over the fence. What am I talking about? There's no gravity here. I'm just gonna jump over
Float
it.
over it.
Yeah.
The entire bit about Double Zeta where the gang goes to Axis is really strange once you realize this is actually with zero gravity.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I think, real quick on the topic of Axis, I was thinking on this, but I think Unicorn elucidated it. I think large enough asteroid habitats do actually spin, and it's just Axis. The habitat inside Axis wasn't spinning because they were using it as a giant orbital munition.
Probably.
no, in Double Zeta. Anyways, regardless,
Oh, I didn't watch Double Zeta.
you should.
You shouldn't.
You have wrong opinions, Quicks. Anyways,
No, I do not.
Oh,
Zoe.
oh,
Yeah, what's up?
You find it looks sort of like imagine like a rectangular block with a torso slapped on it.
All right.
You've never seen this thing before. It looks strange.
She doesn't.
Is it a Galbaldi?
she doesn't think the Xeon has been this far out, at least during the wars. And a part of her thinks that, like,
It's
this has to
clearly
be.
it's clearly Zeke though. You have no
Zeke.
idea what this machine is, but it clearly looks Xeon.
I want to look at, does it, like, not even like with engineering, just like just like taking a look at it. Does it look like it was recently put here?
The paint doesn't look too scratched up. There's
This
no
is a
rust at the very least.
Yeah, this is recent machinery, which is weird because why would Xeon don't? Was it some kind of test machine? She's getting a feeling that someone might be here. She's gonna shove that in her back pocket for a bit, and she's just gonna go up to the torso block, open up the cockpit.
You said it, and it feels kind of strange.
Does it feel a bit familiar?
A little bit.
Zoe starts to sweat a bit.
You start to lose track of yourself as the camera starts to like morph or like basically like overlaying the image of the face of this mobile armor on top of your face. And then in a sweat you scramble out of the mobile armor.
She's sweating a bit. She feels that familiar feeling, like something very familiar. That feeling, having the mobile suit be blurred, feeling like it. Was it controlling her or is she controlling it? It doesn't matter anymore.
It's kind of hard to tell where you start and the mobile armor began.
Kind of starts to, like, her corner of her mouth twitches a bit as a slightly uneasy smile, nervous smile, kind of like enters her face, like someone who just indulged in a vice they haven't in a while.
The camera lingers on your smile for a moment, then it cuts back to Alberic's office as Mathron walks in.
Oh, honey, I'm home. Track.
I'm muted. What's the cheese, Matherin?
I can't remember this point. Is this Masterin choosing to go see the captain, or has he been called in by the captain?
This is
at this point?
Matherin. I'm not sure. Why is Matherin here?
You have two things to discuss with Atherin and Alberic. First, the files. He's the one who stole them and knows more about this intelligence business than you. The second is his testimony regarding the incident in the hangar.
Ah, yes. Well, first things first, Matherin. Testimony regarding the events of the hangar and Warrant Officer Constantine's injuries.
Do you want me to? I assume the injuries were superficial. Well, that's
Yeah, it's just a black eye.
yeah.
Nothing he can't recover or from within like a couple days. And nothing that really prevents him from doing his job.
So his flight status won't be impeded, essentially. Other than that, the warrant officer, I presume, Connick sticks to his attempts to diffuse the situation as much as possible. He's been fairly honorable on that front. It's a good thing that we, now have an empty medical bay, so we don't have to worry about these frivolities getting in the way of more serious cases.
All right, well, that's good to know. Anyways, I have these intelligence files. I've been meaning to discuss them with you. So it seems that the defecting crew was actually mostly a last-minute replacement that was placed into the mobile suit team just before the crews deployed, also augmented by some highly placed individuals about whom we know very little. Do I have that basically right?
That appears to be what the evidence bears out so far. So, the situation keeps getting murkier and murkier.
And less actionable. Is this, but in terms of birthplaces, in terms of ages, in terms of affiliations, is there any kind of trend, any way we can possibly head off the Rethe at the next pass?
Mathrin,
Yes.
I'd like you to roll me Keen Investigate with a +3.
Okay. That'd be 4 success. Sorry, 5 success. Apparently, my dice are on fire with math
So-
these days.
Great success.
So, Mathrin, there is one place you could think they're going to, because, they're heading to the Hildas, opposite of Jupiter. You only know one place they could possibly be going. And considering where you are, they shouldn't be too far ahead of you, if at all. They can only be heading to Access. And you should be able to head them off if you exit the belt out proper. Which shouldn't be too hard from where you're standing right now. Considering that you require no need for secrecy.
Oh, we don't. That's right.
It certainly gives us an advantage then. Of course, it also kind of means we have a very definite timer we're running down.
There's
I don't
nothing
think
else of value they could be going to aside from Axis. You're certain.
None of the evidence I've seen suggests any other possible destination. Although this has not been my investigations today have not put my mind at ease. I'm now slightly concerned about our own crew and ship.
Oh? How so?
Very interesting conversation with Warrant Officer Constantine. I'm not sure quite how he finds time for all this intrigue, but it seems there may be some people highly placed in the Federation who might not be particularly interested in our success or survival.
Did he name any names?
He didn't really have names to give.
Just a sentiment.
The Graves faction.
Oh, they call themselves that?
Grave with just a V, or well, I guess it's Graves with a parent with a what's it called that you put next to an S when you're referring to a name to a person's thing.
You bumped into Beige?
A different thing. We'll get to that.
Yeah, don't worry. Right now, this is all the we might be able to catch them.
Anyway,
if only they don't have too great of a lead on us.
Back to the
Okay.
Anyways, back to this scene.
Back to the child soldier exposition.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. It's this has been a doozy of a day. Albrecht is going to have one hell of a headache.
I missed the first 45 minutes.
Listen, we got up to some shenanigans. Some stuff happened. We delved into people's mysterious and awful pasts.
Anyways,
related to Zoe's awful past.
Mathrin, please explain what the Graves faction is like.
Hey, I'm going to need someone to explain it to me because I don't understand.
All right,
Me, the player, Prep knows nothing.
Allow me to explain. So basically, they were under the authority of Revel, but they were pretty much independent from the EFF chain. So your information is, a bit more due to your espionage net. Maybe you were told by Revel or whoever the fuck to go watch over. But they did stuff like assassinating corrupt officials, and yeah, MK Ultra type stuff. Bad, very black ops, very, 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 very questionable legality.
Matherin also, as I earlier stated, they were the same. They run in the same circles as the kind of guys who like assassinated like Daikun and friends.
Ah, yeah.
They know how Daikun died. Well, what cause would they have to let a Zeke ship go free? That doesn't make any sense.
I can really only speculate on that front, but it appears that the warrant officer and Zoe are caught up in their machinations somehow. And considering they've made a couple of attempts on Constantine's life already, I don't imagine why an organization with that much power would stop with someone they wanted dead still breathing.
Hmm.
And if we're having, perhaps it's just paranoia speaking, but if we're dealing with agents being placed aboard ships sent this far out into the belt, I have no reason to suspect that something similar couldn't be engineered here. We're not exactly traveling with the same crew complement we had during the war either.
This is well beyond my pay grade.
I wasn't anticipating having to conduct any counter-espionage operations, but with your permission, I would like to do so.
Permission granted. Let me know if there's any doors a captain's patch can open for you.
Of course.
Lapiel?
Oh, I guess I'll he'll also give like Matherin a copy of the like mostly redacted medical file he has for so it's like none of this makes any amount of sense, but this all seems to be tied back to whatever.
Most redacted medical file for whom?
Zoe.
Instant Zoe.
Ah. Oh. Okay. See, the thing is, this is both Albrecht's and Quix's first chance to meet a lot of these characters, so.
Yeah, that's totally fair. That's,
DM, do you need me to go over the Zoe brain damage list again?
Matherin, what am I
mean,
looking at?
to be fair, I don't know how much the captain really will glean from the like detailed medical records, other than feel like, yeah, some fucked ups happened with her, and
To make a
these
long
people who are
story
responsible are angry at people
relatively
on this shit,
to make
and
a
that could
long,
be a problem.
Some poor girl hit this. This poor girl got hit on the head many times. Much to think about.
You know, cut a long story short, it's basically like out of the ether conditions you only find like 50-year-old men just like suddenly appearing in 79.
Ah, radiation poisoning. I see.
And like conditions, symptoms and conditions just show up with no explanation, and like the rest of the paper just sort of rolls with it.
I see.
I think it would
We'll
be
just roll with humor's out of the balance. We'll have to have them bled, and I'll administer laudanum. That will clearly solve this problem.
I think, and some mercury while you're at it.
Yep, and make sure she lets out lots of blood. Lots of blood. Anyway,
and then eats a hot, dry food.
I was like, do we describe her condition as phlegmic?
I should probably mention that Albert. I assume Albert read her personnel file, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you should probably note that both her medical file and her personnel file are extremely blacked out. A lot blacked out, even more than like any other pilot, if not anyone else on this ship. They kind of just dumped her in with Connie as like a package deal.
What an odd bunch. I swear, not a normal officer between them. All right, is there anything else? Or will that be all, Doctor?
Okay, this is me asking as the player Fred, not as the character Matherin. Is there anything critical I've forgotten to bring the captain up to speed on?
That seems about it.
So, yeah.
Okay. Thank goodness. I'm having trouble.
It's
There's a
going to be
lot
really
of character
confusing
brain
because
flipping for me today, so I've been.
it's about to get a lot worse because he needs to talk to Ensign Joe next.
Actually, there is one last thing because we're starting to run on the 2.5 hour mark. And I feel like this is an excellent way to put a bow on this session. Alberic,
Yes?
you have to take your shift at the bridge.
Oh, naturally.
When Lozy arrives, you were looking at a report art about the state of your mobile suit materials for repair, and you're starting to run dangerously low.
Of?
Just parts to repair your 3 wrecked mobile suits you have aboard.
Damn.
When Lozy...
Miss Lozy.
Yes.
Lozy is covered in sweat. She's like, oh, I wasn't thinking about it for the first few minutes. I was gonna. Did Joe? Is Joe with me? No, not Joe. Joe. Fucking Saul. Saul. Did Saul catch up?
Saul?
Saul. He should have caught up with me. No time to explain. They're here.
Who's here?
Them.
Dear God, what on earth are you talking about?
We ran into Paige. Sammy Pilot. We ran into him. He's in the colony, or he was. We don't know where he is.
Good God!
Great Scott!
Weapons officer?
As you say that,
Sound-
Alberic, Connie, you're talking to your chief mechanic when I'd like you to roll me keen awareness telepathy.
Keen awareness telepathy. Good thing. All right, let's go. Well, son of a bitch. First thing I rolled, it's Snake Eyes.
You get a really bad feeling. You're in terrible danger.
My leg's starting to itch. Get the crew to get the crew to condition 1.
Alberic,
Weapons officer?
You're just
Sound
sitting...
general quarters and prepare a boarding party.
As you say that, you see, you're sitting in your chair, and basically Lozy's right in front of your chair, and you see a bright bloom of thrust.
Oh no!
Coming bigger in the distance.
Oh no!
Oh.
And
it's a torpedo.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, they're firing on us in the colony?
We're docked with the colony.
Hey,
bastards.
DM.
Okay then. Things are about to get very interesting.
Mr. Director.
Yes?
I assume Zoe is bringing the mobile suit back to the ship, because I think she just turned that
No,
bitch on.
you're still at the junkyard. Connie.
Yes.
You suddenly see and feel and hear a giant explosion in the hangar.
I obviously, I know immediately. Those crazy bastards are firing at us in a colony.
When you duck to cover and you look back up, you see Zoe's Dauntless is trashed. Basically, the torso's slag. Alberic, Bund yells out. Bund yells out. One on the hangar, or one near miss on the reactor, sir.
What's the hostile? What did we get hit from?
You see Yalvin looking down at microscope. Spot 2 bandits. Looks like they're firing from some sort of array.
Well, what's behind them? Can we hit them safely?
We'd have to leave. Then Bun yells up. Warrant officer got them set as we can't then start the reactor as it is. it will be you will need to repair it.
We're drifting, or would be if we disconnected.
Correct, sir.
Do we have any launchable mobile suits?
Is Connie's Dauntless back up, or is it still trash?
It's still trashed.
All right. I guess the next best bet is Saul's fucking GM command.
Oh, speaking of which, did I get actually back with Lizzie?
You are now, just as an explosion happens,
And
of which
Connie is
Zoe
hopping into your
hears
cockpit.
in the colony.
Zoe.
Like,
So I'll go ahead first.
Fine. Saul rushes to the hangar. Fuck normal suit at this point, because any which way he has gone from conflicted state to you are firing at a colony of civilians. You are firing at us while we are docked with a colony of civilians. Any and all conflict is gone. He has gotten into his mindset. It's done. He forgoes normal suit. He is rushing to his gym command.
When you get there, he's hopping into your kind of wrecked mobile suit, like the least damaged one, and there's pretty much everything else isn't fit for combat. And as you see him start to leave,
Wait, what are you doing?
Connie, is this... So Connie's already leaving, and this is Saul on the ground saying that?
yes.
I'm assuming Saul has a like radio at least.
Yeah. He like runs to the nearest
Gets a loudspeaker from some chief.
yeah, he just runs to the nearest console and pages you in.
Yeah. When you bring war of a madman's making to a foreign land, you'll wake more than the dogs. And that's the only thing he's gonna say as he shoots out.
He slams on the console. What's the next nearest mobile suit that's even remotely flyable?
There is none. It would have been Zoe's, but Zoe's torso is Zoe's mobile suit's torso is basically slack right now.
What about the other gym command?
It's a death trap. It's barely functioning as is, and all the armor has been removed.
Wait, where's Zoe?
Wait, where's Perry?
If that's your mobile suit, and you're here, then who's flying the plane?
Where's the caveman?
So you're telling me that its armor's gone, but it is a death trap, but it is flyable technically.
Yes.
Oh hell
Right.
no!
Yeah.
Oh hell no!
Yeah.
Oh hell no!
Oh no!
Hell yeah.
Saul isn't flyable without he will get into a fucking normal suit as fast as humanly possible, and he will fucking get in that death trap. He's not letting Connie go out alone.
Connie, as you start to fly out, all you have on you right now is
Do you need me to remind you?
Connie
no.
grabbed the beam rifle off the rack before he left. He might be emergency fucking launching, but he's not emergency launching unprepared.
Yeah, but you're pretty minimally armed. You didn't have time to even grab a shield.
That all he needs. All he needs is a beam rifle.
Hey, do we have any shield left on board? I think we broke literally every single one of them.
I still have Zoe. Zoe's shield is still pretty much in pristine condition.
Yep,
But,
I believe so.
yeah, but you
Nah.
just ditched without it because emergency launch.
Bringing a beam rifle and whatever else Saul has got mounted on the mobile suit.
You got a machine gun, you got your Vulcans, and the beam saber.
Plus the beam rifle.
So congratulations. So I guess yeah, no, Saul Bill fucking go after Connie and the other fucking busted ass up shipping command.
Lizzie's going to like stop Saul. Wait, you getting in that thing? That's a death trap.
I know. I'm not letting him go out alone. It's my job. And he brushes.
Let me go with you.
No, you're staying here. That's order.
Well, that's my machine. I know how to pilot it. I know what to do.
Connie, I'd like you to roll me a maneuver check. A move check.
All right. Let me get my third die. Where'd you go, you bastard? I gotta calculate this by. No cheat sheets here. All right. That is what? It would be MS move check. It's poise, maneuver, and mobility. So that's a.
Don't forget
three,
your yep.
three,
No, actually no. I thought Saul's mobile suit might have frame damage. It doesn't.
8 plus 5. That is 13, and I got an 8. 13, 8. That is 6 degrees of success.
Connie, you see a singular beam fly out. I'm going to spend a narrative point. And you start to move, and then you see basically it's a burst. And it blows off the leg of Saul's mobile suit.
All right, it's a burst. It's badges, MS, isn't it?
Yes, of course it is.
I'm gonna laser line him.
Go ahead.
You goddamn coward! Firing in a colony. What the hell are you thinking?
Here are desperate men made for dangerous opponents.
Bullshit. You know how many lives you're putting in danger here? Not just ours, not just yours. Every single soul that lives on this colony. And you're pulling some stupid shit like this.
Wasn't my call to make either. And then the line cuts.
I'm gonna charge him.
Your mobile suit's in barely functioning condition. You have 1 frame.
Meh. Fuck it.
Hey, DM,
Yes?
may I?
May you what?
Yes.
Can I maybe spend a narrative point, or can I have Zoe, turn on that cool doohickey she found?
Okay, the
I know
camera
where you're
points.
thinking what the
The camera
doohickey
pans
is.
over to you. You try to get it started. It does not turn on. As you're quite haplessly and desperately trying to get it to work, it will not turn on.
Can I
Zoe,
reach out with some new type bullshit?
Nope.
I think this is Zoe's new type bullshit to pull off. Zoe is like moving on the controls, like, come on, move, move, move. If you don't move, we're all gonna die here. And I have someone to get back to. I have people to get back to. So just move, damn it!
I like to imagine as that's happening, Saul is like arguing with Rosie and is about to like push her out of the way.
Can I spend a narrative point to make that her Zoe's new type, I guess, to turn it on, basically?
No.
Well,
Lozi is, as the mobile suit, like its leg is destroyed, Lozi is actually going to let go and be like, damn it, it's already wrecked. Just go. I'm gonna unhook the shield from the outside. Take it with you before you turn to slag.
Connie.
Yes.
Your thrusters are all out of whack right now. The ambac's not working. You see another shot come. Straight for you.
I'm gonna dodge.
Do so at a -6.
What?
Yeah.
I'm going to spend a narrative point to make that a little bit more manageable.
Very well then.
So it'd be at a -4. That's a 9. I can still manage that. That is a 6. That's 4 degrees of success.
You barely throw it out of the way, and when you look back, you see the public class right in front of where you just were.
Fuck.
Joe,
Yeah.
you see the beam coming right in front of you.
Oh,
Can I? Fuck.
What's behind me?
Well, Connie just was.
So
Well, no,
it's
in
coming
front of
ahead of me or behind me?
It's coming from in front of you.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering what's behind me, like in the path of this beam.
Nothing anymore.
Okay. I was concerned about if this was going to be a case of like this is going to hit the colony behind me and like destroy something if it doesn't, impact me.
It won't.
Okay. Well, I will attempt to roll out of the way of this then.
Move check, please.
That is 5 degrees of success, actually.
You just keep letting your momentum roll you forwards. And, you could feel the cockpit get hotter. But besides the heat warnings, it seems like you're okay. You look to basically upper left, and there's Connie.
You still with me, Shuttle Jock?
And Connie's mobile suit looks like it's hanging on by a thread. Connie, you look out, and it looks like they're breaking off.
Not much we can do in this situation. Fuck.
Take that wreck home, and I will try to cover you if they try to leave us any parting gifts.
Looks like that's our only option.
Oh,
Those
fight another day, I
bastards
suppose.
Next time.
Are they? Have they already?
Is he still? Is Baz still within lasercom distance?
He would have just have left it.
I'm gonna say this out in the open. Baz, you're nothing but a cowardly son of a bitch, and I want to let you know the next time we meet will be the last, and I'm gonna be the one walking away from it.
Albrecht, you put down the phone connected to your captain's chair. It seems like, as Joe's report has given you, that the Zeeks seem to be breaking off, and neither you nor the Gratitude are in any position to chase them.
Call back the mobile suits.
Real quick, I would like to see if I can find Zoe before we pull out.
Actually, the scene ends. Zoe in front of you is one of the chief mechanics, flight mechanics. I believe you have something to tell them regarding something you found.
Am I in the hangar?
You've just gotten back.
And I can see the slagged Jim Dauntless torso?
Yep.
Zoe just kind of like looks to the thing, looks at the chief mechanic. Send crew to junkyard right now. I found something. We can use it to fix my gym.
And then
Trust me on this.
then the screen starts to fade to black.